Right, we're in the studio with Tommy Orr and we're going to do a quick interview for Facebook.
Hello Facebook, hello everyone on Facebook, there you go.
When and why did you start playing?
I suppose it must have been about 1968. My mother bought me an old guitar, a new guitar, ran it a bit away for any years, untouched, because I couldn't fathom it out. But later on, I met a couple of guys that played a bit of guitar and started in from there. And I bought myself an Echo and started. Why?
Yeah.
I always felt musical. I always enjoyed music. And I thought I'll give this a go. I tried the harmonica first, well, a mouth organ really. And I could pick out a couple of tunes and that, so I thought maybe I could do this, so I got myself the Echo. And a couple of books, 101 folk songs, stuff like that. And that was all you could get in them days. So,
do you remember where you got it from?
What, the book?
Yeah, and where was it, a shop?
What? No, I ran into this guy, Lex Black I believe his name was. And he's the only other guy I knew that knew who Bob Dylan was. And he had his albums, so did I, so we got together and had listened to them. And he and his brother knew a few chords and he showed me, and he gave me the book. So I thought I'll get a decent guitar, what I thought was a decent guitar. And I chose that guitar because I like to look at it. I like to look at it more than any other guitar I saw. And that was it. That was all the reasoning behind buying it. And it was, if you're buying it cash, that's in 1968 I remember, it was £29. This is an Echo 254 with a black neck, that's pretty rare now. And £29 if you buy it cash, and you pay it up, you end up paying £36. So I had to do that, because I couldn't afford £29 cash. And so that was the start of it all.
Do you remember where you got the guitar from?
The guitar came out of a wash machine shop in must have been the corner of Buchanan Street, and can't remember what that street was. What was it called? Clubfusman's, that was a big shop.
So Tommy, which musical instruments do you play?
Oh, mainly guitar, harmonica, and I can dabble a wee bit in keyboards if need be, you know. Harmonicas, as I say, well, I had a mouth organ at home, which is about this length, and it's a double rows of keys, and that's basically all you got up until this point when I went hunting for harmonicas. Like, you know, Dylan would play a wee short harp, you know, and one thing when I used to play the mouth organ, and I would listen to, I was into Dylan and into Donovan at this time, I'd listen to the songs, I'd hear them playing these things, and I couldn't find the key, couldn't find the notes, right? Never realising they're playing in different keys for every song, and a different harmonica for every song. And sometimes they were playing with cross harp, you know, which is sort of back to front. When you're playing straight harmonica, you would start with a blow note, And if you're playing cross harp, you mainly start on a suck note. So it's sort of back to front. So I never realised any of these things. So it made it much more, obviously much more difficult, you know, to try and emulate these sort of things. Eventually I started finding out, you know. I used to buy super bumpers for 17 shillings, right? And the exact same harmonica nowadays costs you £30. So I don't know what happened. The 17 shillings to £30, you know, I mean, must be materials or whatever, I don't know, time, I don't know. Guitar, I just started like strumming chords, because that's what everyone was doing, and I thought that'd be enough, I'd be quite happy. But once I'd mastered that, I hear people flat picking and picking out bass notes and runs and one thing and another, and I thought, oh God. And I could never, it took me a long time to master that. And but once it was worthwhile, it was worth a bother, you know.
Yeah, because it's finger picking style.
Well, the finger picking style, I heard people doing it and I thought, oh Christ, have you never seen anybody doing it? It's not like nowadays you go on YouTube and you can watch people playing, and there's people teaching you, and books and tablature and DVDs, and virtually anything you want is on YouTube somewhere. You can see somebody playing it or somebody showing you how to play it. But then, you just sat in a bedroom with a wee Dan-set record player and did what you could. So
was there somebody that showed you the finger picking style then?
No.
You just had to work it out?
Aye. Just what they call a claw hammer, you know. I listened to it. The very first thing ever I did was a song called Cocaine Blues. And the guy that played it was a guy called Ramblin' Jack Elliott, who isn't known as a finger picking guitar player, he's a flat picker. So it was very basic, very slow and very basic, and that's how I could hear more or less what he was doing. So I started there and built up from there. But you come across stuff, you know, and you get into Angie, that's about Angie, and then you come across stuff like Doc's guitar, Doc Watson playing this very fast and intricate fingerstyle guitar piece, and you think, Jesus Christ, how is that possible? But, you know, over the years you do what you can, you know. And I think if you're going to progress, and you put the time in, then you will progress, you know. A lot of people want to play Doc's guitar straight away, and that's like, you need to go through all the basics and through all the shit to get there, you know. So so that was the guitar. I didn't play guitar until I was 19. It's pretty late. That was 1968. Keyboards, well that's just, you know, I learned all the chord shapes and a few sort of boogie sort of bass line sort of thing, and Beatles songs mainly, you know. And that's about it. That's all I play.
So is that on what a kind of keyboard like a synth, or is it piano you'd be playing them, or?
Aye, piano.
Piano?
Aye. Even if it was a keyboard, electronic, it would be a piano sound that would have on it.
Yeah.
You know? Aye.
Right, so what was the first song or tune you learned?
Oh, what a question.
Probably best going for the guitar when you were 19. What was it that made you pick that up?
Donovan, I suppose. The guitar, as I say, the guitar was always lying there. And even when I met somebody who could play a couple of chords and he tuned it up, it was a dreadful guitar to play. So I thought, if I'm going to do this at all, I'll go out and see what I can manage to buy. So I did that. could possibly have been Colours, which was a #1 at the time, the Donovan song. There's only 3 chords, G, C and D. I suppose I was walking about Drumchapel at night with a guitar, going home and back to people's places, and I met a guy I was at school with his girlfriend, standing at the bus stop. Oh, and she thought, no, not another one thinks he can play a guitar, right? When my bus is late, it's just, here's a song, you know, it's so good. And I played on Colours, and he was quite surprised, you know, that I could, you know, manage it, you know. Because a lot of people fall by the wayside. What was the question again? The first thing, mate. I suppose that was it. I suppose it must have been that, songs of that ilk, you know. Dylan songs, three chord wonders, you know. On the harmonica, mouth organ. It might have been a song. It just was the luck. It was in the key of C because I had a mouth organ in the key of C. There's a song called Josie, Donovan song. So he must have had his capo at the 5th fret, playing it in G. Is that right? G, I, C, I. It just so happens it was, because it was in the right key, I could pick the notes out and not bother. But then the next song after that, I couldn't find any of the notes, you know, obviously because it was a completely different key.
So the next question I've got for you is your family a musical?
Well, we always had a piano. I don't know. When we moved to Drumchapel, way back in the 50s, there's a piano there. I don't know if it came, this is my mother's piano, I don't know if it came from her mother's house, because I cannot remember it. I was born in Mary Hill, and we moved to Drumchapel when I was 5. And I never ever remember piano being in where we stayed, in Mary Hill. So I think when we moved to Drumchapel, the piano came from her mother's house with us, and I can't remember her playing it, but she was supposed to be able to play it. And at one point, later on in my teens, I would sort of mess about on it, and I felt I could make up tunes and one thing and another. So my mother could play the piano, but I can't remember her playing it.
A wee bit on a aside, but what was Drumchapel like in the 50s? It's got a bit of a reputation.
Well, I never ever saw that because I was only 5, remember. When I moved to Drumchapel, it was still mainly off fields and woods, you know. The part I lived in anyway. And I can only remember being out in the summer, like every day, all day long, I'd be wandering all over the place, never any problems. But I dare say if you were in a gang or something and you were looking for trouble, you would find that. More or less the same anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my old man, he played the harmonica, mouth organ. Did a bit of singing. He was always, you know, well, he wasn't a great singer, you know, but you know, he would give it a go by New Year and stuff like that when he was drunk. My brother and my sister never ever showed any aptitude, you know, musically at all, I don't think. My sister played the record player right enough.
Who was your first teacher in music?
When you think of music and teachers, you think of school immediately. And music at school was terrible. Well, when I went to school, never anything half decent, never anything you wanted to learn or anything. And in them days, you couldn't go and learn to play a guitar or any of these sort of things that I was aware of. music at school consisted of a period, 40 minutes or whatever it was, with some guy or some woman playing songs on a piano you didn't want to hear, and learning them, singing them, and that was it. But I suppose my first music teacher was myself, and then I ran into another guy from Drumchapel, Billy Norwood, and he actually played banjo at the time, but he played guitar as well. And I'd seen him since I left school, and both of us since we left school had taken up guitar, and we're playing the same sort of music, Bert Jansch sort of stuff. So that was fine. We picked up a couple of ideas for each other, but he was getting lessons with a guy called a very well-known, brilliant guitar player from Glasgow, a guy called Alan Tall, and so he was going once a week to Alan Tall's place, and he lived in White. What was it, White Street? In White Street, it was St Patrick. I can't mind that. And so we learned stuff there. And he was playing all the stuff that I wanted to play, you know, Doc Watson stuff and Dave Van Ronk, stuff like that. Except he could play it, you know, and he could work it out, he could listen to it and work it out, which I eventually did myself, you know. So, but he taught us stuff then that I wasn't capable of actually doing at the time. But later on, when I got a bit better, a bit more fluent, and incorporated a lot of his, you know, ideas and stuff into my playing, you know. So that was my first teacher, and end of the lesson, you know, I said, "What the boy?" He's a pound, a pound, you know. Alan Tall, he was playing in all sorts of other folk clubs, you know, both here in Glasgow and in Edinburgh. And a wee pal, Eric Clifferson, he also played, he played a bit of blues harmonica, a bit of guitar, and he had problems with his legs, Eric, and he's one of these wee blue thingy cars. You ever seen them? Invalid cars, used to call them. Wee blue things.
Kind of Robin Reliant.
Aye, sort of three-wheeled sort of things, you know. And I think he got that free, you know, sort of thing, because he had to travel about. So him and the set of crutches, 2 guitars and a banjo, and Alan Tall, and he's 6 feet something or other.
Well named.
Oh, he used to get in that wee thing and drive away to Edinburgh to do gigs, you know. So what was the question again?
Oh, so
the teacher?
Yeah, first teacher.
Aye, but so he was one and only teacher, really, you know.
Which famous musicians do you admire and why them? I suppose it doesn't have to be famous. Which musicians?
What my favourite musicians, so how long have I got?
As long as you want me.
But I first started out with Donovan and Dylan, and then Dylan kept mentioning people like Woody Guthrie and Lead Belly, sort of thing. So I had to hunt these people down as well. Well, this is just how I arrived at these things. Favourite? There's a guy called Mike Cooper, came from Birmingham, and he played slide guitar, blues mostly. Liked him. He stands out, like, you know. There's a trio from America on Electra called Corner, Ray and Glover. That was John Corner, Spider John Corner, Dave Ray and Tony Glover. He was a harmonica player. I liked him. I suppose I've drawn influences from all these people. Doc Watson,
What about
Singer-songwriters.
Scottish?
Scottish?
Yeah, what
Well,
about
we see,
Scottish ones?
I'm not big in Scottish music at all, you know, folk music, Scottish folk music, or Irish, or English, traditional. Everything I heard, everything I liked was came from America. But having said that, years and years ago, when English, Irish, and Scottish people went to stay in America, they took their music with them, and what we got back was just a derivative, you know, of the real Scottish folk music originally, you know, and mixed with bluegrass and mixed with blues and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I've lost the thread of the thing now.
Which musicians do you admire and why them?
Well, you mentioned Scottish and all. I mean, there's a lot of people from Scotland I admire. Jansch and John Martin, Donovan, Lonnie Donegan, you know, there's an awful lot of them. Once you get into singer-songwriter stuff, then I was talking about James Taylor. Came across this American female artist called Judy Sill recently, last year or so. I never knew she existed, but she's something. If you ever get the chance to listen to her, then I would do so. Again, to Joni Mitchell, very late.
What was your favourite records when you started playing?
Okay, records. Well, it was records. It was vinyl. The Incredible String Band's first album, I would say. I could be listening to a lot of Dylan. String band. They put me in a spot here now. Doc Watson. I finish up with a big record collection and all this stuff. And but at the very beginning, when I was starting to play the guitar and listening, with Donovan as well.
How was it you would get new records? Would you hear them on the radio, or would it be TV, or would somebody tell you about them? Or how was it you got them?
You heard nothing about these sort of things in TV or radio. I frequented what record shops I knew. There was a record shop up near the Barras, and this guy used to import stuff from America. He get stuff that you couldn't get anywhere else. Well, I didn't know where you could get it anyway. And I used to go to him, and whenever a new string band album would come out, like, he'd have it for anybody else. And I get stuff like there's a famous song, the San Francisco Bay Blues, was written by a guy called Jesse Fuller, who was a one-man band, colour guy, American, and Dylan liked him so much. In fact, it was said that when he saw him, Jesse Fuller playing a guitar and harmonica and a rack, like, that's when Dylan got the idea to do the same thing. And the first song you hear in Bob Dylan's first album is called You're No Good, and that's a Jesse Fuller song. It's a bit of a homage, I think. And he also called his first son Jesse. So he was a big fan, and so was I. So I used to get stuff like that in this guy's record shop. Jesse Fuller and Lead Belly, Woody Guthrie.
When you're performing live, do you get nervous before the performance?
I would say yes. In fact, for about first 20 years of my guitar playing life. I'd rather not play live if I could find a way out of it than I would, you know. And I always put that down to nerves and stage fright, whatever you want to call it. And I think that still exists even yet now. But I find going on a stage myself with an acoustic guitar, especially now if you're a singer-songwriter, pretty daunting. You have to be a certain type. I think people like James Taylor or John Martin or Jans or any of these people, I don't think they have any nerves, right? I think they could sit here and play at the top of their game and sing away quite happily, and then you could put them in Albert Hall full and they could just do the same thing, because I don't think it affects them one way or the other, nerves, you know. But that was never me, you know. So I've just took my whole life basically, you know, to get to this stage that I'm at now. So I found it easier getting on stage, you know, even with one other person, you know, makes a difference, you know. I think it's easier getting on stage with other people, but if I was forced into it, then I would do it, right, I would do it, you know. But still, even I don't feel totally relaxed on stage, you know. You might think it, the way, you know, I just conduct myself or talk to the audience or whatever, you might think, oh, you know.
Do you have some sort of way of dealing with it now that you didn't before? Is it like a kind of mental exercise?
I suppose it is mental, certainly, because it has to be done. I always knew, even 20 years ago, to get on and get things done, you have to go and do these things. I knew that, you know, but still, it was still daunting. And now I know it really has to be done, you know. It's just, you know, last through the dice. So I do it.
Did you develop any ways to get past that you could maybe tell to beginners that are kind of nervous of going on stage?
I talk to people about it, and most people either have a drink or some substance that go on stage, and I was never into that. So somebody says, have you tried beta blockers? You heard of them?
Yeah, they're for people with heart conditions, isn't it? You stop them from getting a fright.
Well, they're also for people, you know, who have got to go on the stage, or got to, you know, actors, or, you know, even people in the Philharmonic orchestras and all that, you know. Although they're sitting in amongst 60 other people, they're shaking, you know what I mean? It affects different people in different ways. Some people couldn't care less, you know. Anyway, somebody said, so I went and I spoke to my doctor about it. Well, she says, oh, certainly, she says, I'll give you them, you know, because they're just very mild, you know, and maybe they will help you, you know. But I don't know, because I never took them. I never took them. So, I think everyone has to find their own way, really, of overcoming this. But so many very famous people suffer from this very badly. Joan Baez, John Lennon, of all people, Van Morrison.
It's one of the most common fears, to go up and perform in front of the public.
And yet, what it is, it's down to their makeup, it's down to their personality. As I say, some people, like McCartney, you couldn't keep him up on stage, right? He went to limelight 24 hours a day, right? But
Freddie Mercury's and guys like that.
Oh, there's people, you know, they all just lap it up, they can't get enough of it. And other people would run a mile before they would do it, you know. But there's people who become famous as singers or singer-songwriters or whatever, and they're fine in a studio like me, but then they've got to go out and face this terrible thing, you know.
Do you think it's like a kind of fear of making a mistake, or is
I
it?
suppose so. I suppose so. That's a tricky question to answer. What is it you're frightened of? I don't know, maybe it's just exposing yourself up there, you know, and there's nowhere else to go, sort of thing, you know, and if anything does go wrong, then...
You know, the rotten tomatoes come up
Aye,
at you.
aye. Dear oh dear.
What would you do if there was a mistake on stage? How is it you deal with that?
If I'm playing on my own, then I just ignore it. Because I believe, because I've been sitting in an audience and somebody's on playing guitar and I'm saying, oh, that's good stuff. And I was like, oh, what happened there? But the guy's giving no impression that anything's gone wrong. And I said, oh, I must have, did I hear him playing a one note there, or did I imagine it, or whatever? But he's passed on, you know, so you just ignore it and accept it, you know. So that's what I do. If I'm playing with other people and I do something wrong, I'm hoping they're going to cover up, and vice versa. If they do thing with it, I'm going to cover up for them, you know. But I've told them, never ever, oh, wait a minute, I made a mistake. I look at each other, I've turned to them and said, that was you know, sort of thing. So I think you just got to get through it as best you can, you know. Aye. I've had enough rehearsing and one thing or another. You should be okay.
Yeah, you'll get the mistakes when you're in there and know how to get
the
by
mistakes. The more you do it, if you do a mistake, then it's easier to gloss over. You know, you just hesitate for a second and then come in on the next chord, sort of thing. You know, so for other people playing, carrying it on. You know.
So it's probably something to do with experience as well then, innit? Where you've got, like, if you do it enough times, then you just, although it never really goes away, it just gets it's not quite as bad.
That's right. Well, I think if you go on like a tour and you're playing like the same 8 songs or whatever, night in and night out, eventually it'll be perfect. And then they'll become stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I find with people. Famous people still doing the same set. You saw them 20 years ago and then you go back to see them and it's the same set, same songs, same jokes, you know. I think they should think very carefully, you know, about their audience. But a lot of people like that familiarity. They know every song he's going to do before he does it. But I don't like that.
So, while we're talking about performing live, what's your most memorable performances and people you've performed with?
Support-wise, way back in '72, something like that. I was living in England and played support to John Martin. It's a big long story about that. We'll go into that at some point.
Yeah, part 2 of the Facebook interview.
Okay, good idea. While I was in England, there was a place called the Centre Hotel in Portsmouth actually, and saw a few good people. I saw Jake Thackeray there, and I saw Long John Baldry. He had long hair and played acoustic guitar. And I also played support to a guy called Johnny Silver at the Centre Hotel. He was a colour guy. I think he came from Birmingham as well. His own club there at some point. And he was playing with a double bass player called Dave Moses at the time. Done a lot of sort of jazzy sort of field material. Then I come back to Scotland and I didn't do very much live performing for a long time. And the next thing I did, I played support to Tom White, who was a blues singer for Edinburgh. No longer with us. And I played support to Rod Clements, who was Lindisfarne's bass player. That was the guy who wrote the song Meet Me in the Corner. I was asked to play support to Puck Baker at some point. And Martin and Eliza Carthy and double act. And lastly David Graham, just before he died. But I never got around to doing them for various reasons, you know. Next one I did actually play was in a three-piece called Troika. With oh dear. A violinist, female, Sandy Bishop, very well known in Glasgow, and a double bass player, Ninian Perry. And we played support to John Renburn. And I'm just trying to think, yeah, it was the same trio. And we did Benny Gallagher and Lyle, and lastly Steve Tolston, singer-songwriter. And we did a headlining gig on our own. After that, a couple of years ago, I went up to Callander. There's a guy, Charlie Fairburn, who owns Southside Music, Cathcart Road, has a barbecue twice a year. I think it was the second one I went to, September. Just sang and played them on. But recently, with a bass player and a harmonica player, we went back just in May this year. And this stuff's on YouTube, you can look it up, you know.
It's on Facebook?
And we've done some stuff off the new album, all my own work, which is on iTunes. So you chase that one up as well. And to date, I reckon that's all of my live performances.
Yeah, well, we'll go into the John Martin story. I think guys would want to hear about that.
Yeah.
But we'll wrap it up for today. That'll be us, and we'll be ready for part 2.
Okay.
The Facebook interview.
Right.
We'll say our goodbyes.
Cheerio, folks. Keep watching.